Michael Harris was shocked when the HOA president, Linda Carter, called the police on him for simply fishing on his own ranch lake, turning a peaceful evening into an unfair nightmare. Linda's relentless need to control and bully her neighbors sparked outrage and exposed the darker side of HOA power. But Michael's determination to fight back with the law led to an astonishing $1.2 million victory that nobody saw coming. Just wait until you hear how justice finally prevailed in this intense battle of rights and resolve. Michael Harris had been looking forward to this evening all week. After long days of hard work managing his ranch, fishing in the quiet lake behind his property was his way to unwind and find peace. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden glow over the water. The gentle ripples and the distant call of birds made it feel like his own little world, far from any trouble. He baited his hook, cast his line, and settled into the familiar rhythm of waiting patiently for a catch. Nothing seemed out of place, just Michael, the lake, and the quiet hum of nature. Then, without any warning, flashing red and blue lights appeared behind his truck. The sudden sight startled him, breaking the calm. A patrol car rolled slowly up the dirt road toward him, and two officers stepped out, looking serious. "Someone called us about you," one officer said. Michael blinked, still trying to process what was happening. Who could have called the police on him? He knew his property inside and out. He was certain he wasn't breaking any rules. It didn't take long for the truth to come out. The HOA, the neighborhood association that oversaw the nearby properties, had reported him. They claim Michael was using the lake illegally, violating community regulations he hadn't even heard of. His mind raced. How could something so simple, something as harmless as fishing on his own land, lead to a police visit? The shock was overwhelming. Michael felt a mix of disbelief and confusion wash over him. This was supposed to be his refuge, not a battleground. For a moment he just stood there, silent, watching the officers speak into their radios, wondering how a peaceful evening had suddenly spiraled into this unexpected confrontation. As the days passed, Michael dug deeper into why the HOA had called the police on him. It didn't take long to uncover the truth. The call came from Linda Carter, the HOA president, a woman known around the community for her strict, almost controlling nature. She had a reputation for policing every minor detail, enforcing rules not always for the good of the neighborhood, but more to maintain her own authority. Michael had never had a problem with his neighbors before, but Linda's interference had always been a quiet shadow over the community. She seemed to thrive on control, watching every move and punishing anyone who stepped out of line, no matter how small the offense. Hearing that Linda was behind the police call sparked something deep inside Michael, a growing resentment that quickly turned into hatred. This wasn't about safety or rules. It was about power. The HOA wasn't there to protect the community's interests, but to bully and intimidate residents who didn't bow to their will. Michael remembered the countless times neighbors whispered about how Linda's decisions felt less like leadership and more like personal vendettas. Now, experiencing it firsthand, he saw it clearly. The organization that should have been a source of support was instead a tool of oppression. Every phone call from the HOA, every letter threatening fines, felt like a direct attack. Michael's frustration and anger grew, fueled by the clear injustice of it all. He wasn't just fighting for his fishing spot anymore. He was fighting against an unfair system that trampled on the rights of ordinary people for the sake of control. The sense of betrayal stung. Michael had wanted a peaceful life on his ranch, not to be caught in petty power struggles. But Linda's actions forced him to see the HOA in a new light, a group more interested in bullying than building community. And with that realization came a deep, simmering hatred that would drive him to stand his ground no matter what. Michael's initial shock and resentment soon transformed into a fierce, burning anger. The idea that a group of neighbors led by Linda Carter could try to dictate what he did on his own land ignited something inside him, a refusal to be pushed around or silenced. He wasn't the type to back down. Michael knew that if he wanted peace back, he had to fight, and fight smart. So, he reached out to a lawyer who specialized in property rights and HOA disputes. Together, they began gathering everything they needed: property deeds, community bylaws, and clear evidence proving Michael's full right to fish and enjoy his ranch lake without interference. Each threatening letter or phone call from the HOA only added fuel to the fire. Michael's anger sharpened into determination, a powerful force driving him forward. This wasn't just about fishing anymore. It was about standing up to harassment and reclaiming control over his own life. Court dates were set, and Michael prepared to face the HOA head-on. The legal battle was intimidating, but his resolve was stronger. Every step was a stand against unfair treatment. Every document filed a strike against the bullying he'd endured. This fight was personal. Michael wasn't just defending a fishing spot. He was defending his freedom, his dignity, and the right to live without unwarranted interference. The fire inside him became a steady blaze, fueling his quest for justice. The courtroom was tense, but as the trial unfolded, the truth became undeniable. Michael's lawyer methodically exposed the HOA's tactics, not as protection of community standards, but as a targeted campaign of harassment driven by personal agendas. The baseless police call, the relentless pressure, and the false accusations all came to light. When the judge finally ruled in Michael's favor, a wave of relief and satisfaction washed over him. The court awarded Michael $1.2 million in damages, a clear statement that abusing power and bullying neighbors would not be tolerated or overlooked. The ruling was not just a win for Michael, it was a victory for every homeowner who values their rights and privacy. The decision sent shockwaves through the community and the HOA board. Linda Carter's control crumbled under the weight of the verdict, her attempts at intimidation exposed for what they were. Michael's victory wasn't just about money. It was about reclaiming respect and justice. For Michael, the outcome was deeply personal. He had fought not only to protect his right to fish peacefully on his own land, but to stand up against injustice. The $1.2 million was a tangible acknowledgement of the stress and disruption the HOA's actions had caused him. More than anything, Michael's triumph was a powerful message. Those who misuse their authority to harm others will face serious consequences. Justice had been served, and with it came a profound sense of closure and satisfaction. A reminder that fairness can prevail even when the odds seem stacked against you.